Hey guys, can you hear me now? Is the audio and video clear? So thank you guys for joining in. So today we'll be discussing a very interesting topic. So about your final year projects. Yeah, thank you for the confirmation, Praveen. So okay guys, we'll be diving right into the topic. So we don't want to waste some more time. Sorry for the technical glitch. Again, it happened. So hope you'll rectify it in the next Sunday. So okay guys, so land into your dream job with final year projects. So that is the topic that we are going to discuss today. So we'll start with there are certain criteria, certain steps that you need to follow, certain guidelines that you should know before you start your final year project. So I didn't have any guidance or know someone to guide me or to tell you that something you have to do it step by step and you have to do it in a certain particular way so that you will go achieve this place. So there was no one for me to say that. So I'll be sharing you some of my own experience and other experience that I got from various people and I have heard from them. So we'll be sharing that and first we'll be talking about the idea itself. So choosing the idea. So the idea is when you're choosing an idea, the idea should be the it should be business related or it's trying to solve some business related problem. So when you take some idea to investor, he will be asking about the business part of the idea or the prototype. So you should always be aware of the business aspect of what you are trying to develop and what you are trying to give it to the society, or you are trying to get it a pattern or trying to push it into the market itself. That all depends on your idea. So choosing the right idea and that will give you the right confidence that you are doing something great, and your teammates who are working with you will also get the idea that we are the part of something great and we are doing something good for the society. So the thought that you should have is that thought process will be entirely change if you have a good idea and if you're working with a good deed. Like say if you're trying to solve something for this COVID-19, you are trying to develop some app or web application to contain the spread, or you're trying to make awareness with an app or maybe an web application or anything of that sort, anything that solves a society problem or which has a business goal. Society pro is the idea should solve a society problem and it should have a business plan. So that is the kind of right way to choose a topic or choose an idea for solving the problem. You don't have to search everywhere. So you can search around yourself, see the surroundings and what the problem that I can solve as an engineer, and what are the problems that I can provide solutions to, and what I am aware of. So search for those kind of problems. There are a hell a lot of problems out there in this the tech world. You can always explore, and if you get a niche idea and you always have the liberty to kind of leverage what the technology that has to offer, and you can always develop about that. So that is the idea part, and developing a prototype. So the next phase of your idea is creating something that you can say that this is going to solve some problem. So you should have a solid proof, or you should have something that that you can expose, or you can always put in front, so that you can say that this is going to solve this problem, and I have done something that you can see and you can verify. You can always look up to it. If, you can see that this thing is solving this kind of problem. So when you pitch up to investors, they will definitely ask the business plan or the background, or how you got this idea and what you have developed and who are your team members, and there are hell a lot of questions that will arise for sure. So business plan or business related plan should be definitely there, and when you are pitching up to an investor, if you are trying to pattern it, there's no issue. You can directly go there, and if your idea is legit, and if you are legit, sorry, if you are legit and you are getting some ideas out of that, and your idea is good enough, and your idea is new, innovative, creative, and whatever you can say, and then it is going to the prototype phase, and you are developing and getting a pattern after that. So when you are pitching up to an investor, you should do those kind of things, and you should have the business plan. As I said earlier, you should have the business plan in the sense, you can ask what is a business plan. So if you take a product, or if, let's say an app, so after 1 year, if I invest 10 lakhs, if I invest 10 lakhs in a product for 1 year, what will be the return? So that will be the kind of the questions that the investors will arise. So after 2 years, what will be the the standpoint or the stance of the particular app solving your solution? Will the competitors take over, or if is there any competition for already existing for your app? So that is the kind of questions that you will be put into for answering. So you should always prepare for those kind of questions as well when you are pitching up. This is when you are pitching up to an investor, you don't have to do anything, or for before pitching up to an investor, you have to explore the entire market in which you are trying to deliver, and you will be doing the same thing. Sorry. So next up, it's so the final year projects are not only the important thing that you should take care of. You should also consider other projects that you do to land into your dream job. So if you are developing something, and you are too good at it, let's say if you are developing an app, and it's good enough, and there are certain ways that you can give away the product, and always you can you know uh, say if you go for a hackathon. So the hackathon thing is the the popular or most popular thing that you can develop a project within 2 to 3 days. There is no restriction that you should take 2 months or 3 months to build a project. It takes nearly a week. For me, it takes just 2 days to complete any project. That if you give it to me in NL or machine learning or Python, it just take 2 days with everything in hand, all the data sets and everything in hand. It takes just minimal 2 days to complete the entire thing and throw it away. So always you can you don't have to take some complicated problem and solve it with the complex technologies that you have. Take a simple problem, and try to simplify things. Don't put complex technologies for solving a small problem. So for solving a simple problem, don't put blockchain or the advanced technologies that you have, machine learning, deep learning. There are a lot of things that if you can solve it in the machine learning itself, machine learning algorithms, neural networks is sufficient, then please do go for NN itself. You don't have to use DNN, deep learning neural networks. There is no point in doing that. You are increasing your complexity. That is the takeaway of doing it in that way. So always have that mentality, or have that mindset of solving something simple, and it should be very effective on solving the problem also. In the other hand, you should also have a business plan, as I said earlier. So please while doing these kind of projects, have an wha- please be aware of what you are doing. You just don't want to do something and go away. There is no point in doing that. If you have teammates, if there are say, let's say if you are doing something for an OHE project, or you are doing some projects for college or anywhere. Let's say there are 4 members in a team, and each and every person should contribute themselves into the project. They should work day and night, and they should produce the results that you wanted. They don't want to be roaming around. They don't want to uh, they want their mindset to be controlled, and they want to be focused in doing the project and doing these and all comes from when you choose an particular idea, or you should choose a niche idea that that doesn't exist in the market itself. So when you are doing something, and the team members will be also encouraged, or they will be boosted, and they will also listen to you whenever you say something. And if there is a the conflict always occurs when doing a project. So if something of that kind happens, you can always reach out to someone who can guide you, can like a mentor. The mentor is also a part of the project, right? So if you're developing something, you should always have some seniors or staffs or someone who can guide you in doing the project. So that is the another thing that you should keep in mind. And the when you go for the placements, and you will be definitely asked about the projects that you have done. So if you're going for a product based company, definitely they'll be asking about the products or the projects that you have developed in the college days or somewhere else. So you should always have some your stance. So you don't have to explain the entire project. So they won't be interested in hearing those entire story, or how you developed and day and night you worked, or what you did. And they won't be asking that. What is your part or your role in completing the project? So let's say there is a machine learning projects, and if you are collecting data sets for the project, and if you are collecting efficient data sets and doing image annotation, and if you are gathering some insights already in the project, so that is the kind of that is the part that you have to explain it to them. So you should say that I have been the data set collector or the data collector for this project. So I have collected this efficient data so that the neural network doesn't suffer or leak out any the wrong outputs, negative uh, output. So it gives us positive output and positive reply. So you can always prove your stance, and there should be always a proof or some evidence to show that you have done the project, or you have done this part of the particular project that you say. So I'll be saying like there are how to choose. There is a question that how to choose an idea. So as I said earlier, follow those guidelines, and if still you don't have that particular thing that is striking to get a new idea, you can always visit. There are two sites which I recommend to most of the people to search for projects. So you can always try the projects that is already existing. You don't have to do something new. You can always try out the existing project, and then you can think of your own and do something else, or do something different from what you have learned from the project. So that is the kind of learning that you should have. You don't have to copy the same project, and you don't want to present it somewhere else and get credit for it. Most the 90 or mostly one two-third of the people do the same thing. They just copy the code, and they just project it to the the jury panel, and they just go away. There is no point in doing a project of that kind. You can always refer the code. There is no issue in referring the code, and you should at least know what the code does. If you are copying a Python code for an example, you should at least know what is the function, and what does the function do, what is the class, and what is the class definition. If you don't know none of that, and if you're simply copying and pasting, there is no point in doing the code, right? So I'll be posting two, I'll be sharing you the links. There are two websites that I highly recommend that you guys can check it out. There is a website called Kaggle. If you are interested in machine learning, and most the you must be aware of this particular website, GitHub. So it contains these two contains all the major links, or major part of the major projects that are being developed. So you can always check out that. So if you have any doubts, or have some, you are stuck up in somewhere, can always reach out now. So if you have any doubts, please put it in the chat box. You can always, if you want to say something, you're happy to. So if you haven't joined the mailing list of mine, so we'll be posting new videos. And if you haven't uh, gone through any of those, please add yourself to this links that I'm posting it right now. And please do fill the feedback forms as well. If you are you can always put the feedback in the chat section itself. You don't have to put it in the link, but it's for documentation purpose. So if you have any doubts, please post it in the chat box so that I will be happy to answer. So I don't think any questions are coming up. So we'll wait for another minute. And if there are no questions, we will wind up this session. So next week be at the same time, 5 p.m. So sorry for the technical glitch that happened in the beginning. So I don't think it happens just like that. So I don't think any questions are coming up. Okay then. So oh, thank you, Praveen. Thank you. I'm still improving on my English though. Okay then. Then see you next time. So be at the same time. Be safe. Due to this COVID-19, we are all stuck up in one place. So stay home. Stay safe. See you next time. If you have any questions though, please post it in the chat section so that I'll be able to answer those. If you have any, we will wait for another minute. As I said earlier, we'll at least we should be getting at least a question right. So after selling so many things, at least sure, bro, sure. I haven't gone out of my home. I'm still after this COVID-19, maybe probably. So, and another thing, then you are projecting to the project phase, when you are developing something, always document the way that you do. So, if you are developing a project, it takes a month. So each and every day you do a backup kind of a thing. So if something goes wrong on the next day, so if you're doing something on Sunday today, if you're doing something today and if everything works fine, the code works fine, the code runs well, and keep it backup or the original form in somewhere else. So if something goes wrong tomorrow, if you are changing something in the code the next day, if you say Monday you are doing something and the code breaks, then you should always have the backup so that you can always restart from the existing one. Since I have experienced a lot, so the code just breaks. You do the same code, you just run the same thing, but the code still breaks. So even that is the myth of I don't think that happens in coding. It will happen only in the hardware part. So it will work on a single day and it won't work another day. When you're working with your friends, it will work. When you're showing it to the panel members or the juries, it won't work. So those kind of things will happen on a hardware thing. But recently I am experiencing this the code failure, the same code that is failing from one day to another. So I don't think that that is how the coding thing happens. And I'm not sure that you have experienced it or not, but still that is the the fact of real fact that I have experienced myself. The code just breaks. I am not able to figure out why it happens. So I'll be doing that soon. So I hope I will, if I come across any of the solutions for it, I'll definitely share with you guys. So that is a closing note for me. Okay then, see you guys. See you next time. So next week Sunday at 5 p.m. we'll meet another topic. So if you have any topics to speak about, or if you want more clarification on certain topics, please put it in the chat section or in the feedback form, so that I'll be very happy to solve those and answer those, and we will take up the topics. If it is more interesting, or if it is more generic, we will discuss about that. Okay guys, bye bye then, see you next time, signing off.